Hi there, boys and girls. Here's your second video. We are now learning lesson 7, place value of decimals. Now, place value of decimals is almost the same thing as place value of whole numbers. The whole numbers place value doesn't change. What you're learning is the 2 decimal points after the decimal and how to do the standard word form and expanded form of decimals. It's the same concept. The way that you read the decimal is the way that you write it. The expanded form is the value of each number in the decimal, and the standard form is the regular way that you would write out the decimal. So place value can help you understand decimals, just like they can help you understand whole numbers. Whole numbers will always be to the left of the decimal point, left to the decimal point, and the value of each place after the right is your decimal values. So in place value, we remember that in front of the decimal, which is to the left, you have your whole numbers. You have your ones place, and you have your tens place. And you can keep going. Okay, the best way to think about this is like money. You can have whole dollar amounts that go all the way to the millions and past the millions place to the left of the decimal, but to the right, you have your decimal values. And if you guys remember from chapter 9, here you have the tenths place. This is a tenth of a decimal, meaning that you have it over 10. And this would be over hundreds. And so remember, like money, okay, these 2 decimal places are your cents. So if they're asking you to please use this place value chart to line up this decimal so that you can do the standard, the word form, and the expanded form, this place value chart can help you. Remember that all the numbers before the decimal are wholes. So I have a number before. I mean, I have 2 ones. And the 2 numbers after, I have 6 tenths and 3 hundredths. But the way that you would write the standard form is just this way. This would be the standard form for decimals. Now, the next way would be your word form. And the way that you read this, 2 and 63 hundredths, okay, or 2.63 hundredths is the way that you would write it. So your word form would be 2 and the word and is very important because the word and signals a decimal. Okay? 2 and 60-3, and because the 3 lands in the hundreds, you're going to use the last name for this number as hundred. And this would be your word form for your decimal. Expanded is taking the value of each number like we did in the regular place value. But here, you would have to include your decimal points. So your expanded of the 2 would be 2.00. Remember, everything turns into zeros. Only the number that you're working with is the value that you keep. And then you add it to the next value. So that next value would be 0 point, because we don't use any other value but that number, whatever place value we're at. And then when we add it to the last one, this is our expanded form for this decimal. Okay? Now, I'm going to have you guys watch me do one more example for the place value of another decimal. So, here we have just the regular way of doing standard word and expanded, but we're going to be doing it with a decimal. So I'm going to use the decimal of I'm going to use my place value chart because my place value chart helps me better understand where the numbers go when we work on numbers to the left and numbers to the right of the decimal. So I'm going to label my place values. Now this will help if you become confused as to where the numbers go in a decimal. So if this is our number, $3.45, okay? So I would place the 3 where it goes in the ones place because it's before the decimal, the 4 in the tenths, and the 5 in the hundredths. Remember that this and this is your tenths and your hundredths place. This would be 4 over 10, and this would be 5 over 100. Okay, remember that. Now here in your standard form, it's the actual decimal. So I would just rewrite it, 3.45. My word form would be exactly how I read it, 3 and 45 hundredths, or 3.45. So 3 and 45 hundredths. And remember, I use hundredths because that's the last place value it landed in. Expanded is the value of each number using its decimal point. So 3 would be 3.00, or just 3, plus the value of the 4, 0.40. Don't forget that 0 after if it has a number here. Plus 0.05. So just like everything else turns into zeros with regular whole numbers, everything in the decimal that you're not using turns into zeros. Now, I've added 2 more videos from YouTube to help you better understand lesson 6 and lesson 7. The worksheets will be on Teams for you to work on, even only. So please make sure that once you watch the videos, you visit Teams to get your worksheets. Have a beautiful day. If you have any questions, please let me know.